This is how you clear a bitch. Hey you guys, it's your favorite commentator, Allie. Let's just jump right into this video. I have a lot of things to go over, so let's get into it. Number one, let's talk about Jessie Woo and how she's biased and hypocritical, right? So a few days ago, she was on a live stream pretty much covering the whole ordeal of what happened to Olandria being called an N-word on a live stream that Huda was on, of which seemingly a child, don't really know for sure, contacted her and pretty much said, hey, Olandria is a girl. Yeah, and then the way that Huda reacted, it didn't seem genuine, it didn't seem honest, it didn't seem authentic, and then obviously, here we are now where Jessie will obviously cover that the day after the fact and was pretty much stating that, kind of explaining away, or she had a moment where she was briefly explaining away why she unfollowed Olandria. And her statement was that she unfollowed Olandria because Shelly was getting a lot of hate, from Olandria's fan base. And she didn't like the fact that Olandria didn't speak up, so she unfollowed her. Okay, and this is where I'm going to play the video now.
That's where I stand on that. If we're going to require Huda to speak on anti-Blackness, racism, but we're going to stand by while our fan base is xenophobic towards Shelly, sorry, I can't support that. That's where I stand. Those who agree, agree. Those who don't, don't. But that's my prerogative. Also, another thing too is I know that this is months back, but I know that the Ace interview didn't sit well with a lot of people. But it just also was very weird for me to watch people use what Ace said to attack Shelly. Again, Shelly has never said anything bad, to my knowledge. I don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Don't know.
I would probably understand that thought process, that mindset of unfollowing the person if they weren't actively speaking up. But the thing is, she unfollowed Olandria, right, for something that the fan base was doing, but she didn't think to unfollow Shelly for something that her fan base was doing as well, right? Once again, it's biased, it's hypocritical. And I understand that Jessie Woo resonates with Shelly because Shelly and Jessie Woo are both Haitians. So I get that, right? However, my entire issue is that if you're going to stand on one thing, how about you stand and feel one way about something, you should feel that way about everything, right? You're picking and choosing how you feel, and you're picking and choosing on what side you want to be on. When what you could have done, right, was just block and ignore those people, the fans, right? Why punish the person that isn't the one that's doing the action? That to me never really made any sense to me. Yes, there's a lot of hatred, a lot of bigotry, a lot of, bullying and harassment going on both sides. I'm not going to disagree with you there, right? And I'm damn sure not about to do a comparison game, right? Because if we do try to level out who's doing who's bullying the most, who's harassing the most, I don't think that fucking matters. Both fan bases are doing too much. Both fan bases can be toxic and has been toxic. Why would you only focus on one fan base but not the other? I don't appreciate that, and that's why Jessie Woo is just a weirdo for the way that she even responded about that. Because first and foremost, you are literally taking away what happened to Olandria to explain away something that, once again, you're punishing her over when it was the fan base, the fans that you had an issue with. Don't like that. But you weren't willing to, quote unquote, take action when it came down to Shelly's fan base. Biased and hypocritical. Also, let us all be real about something. Just because Olandria did not feel the need or just simply didn't speak up about the harassment that Shelly was experiencing then after Ace's interview does not mean that she didn't do so in the past. I mean, she came out that villa swinging for Shelly, going to bat for Shelly outside the villa, during her first interview with her and with Shelly and with Keke Palmer and everything. She did it separately in her other interviews, actively explained or actively stood for Shelly when it came down to that Mean Girl argument, actively talked about how she doesn't like how Shelly's being treated by the fans and the racism that Shelly has experienced individually. An interview she did during the reunion, and she definitely did so during her and Shelly's interview with Teen Vogue, right? I don't think it's fair for you to put her to this high standard just because she didn't do it that one time when she's been doing it for so long, even beforehand. I mean, think about that. Second thing I'm going to talk about is how some of these new news articles are pretty much addressing the Olandria and Huda situation by actively pointing out Huda's apology and Huda's statement of taking accountability, right? But not really pushing forth what happened to Olandria. I mean, even a few really said that she was either exaggerating, saying that it was all speculation, in quotes, so on and so forth, right? Very few actually was blunt about it. Like Ebony, shout out to you, Ebony, was very blunt about what happened, right? A few others were like, yeah, this is wrong. Some of her partnerships actively spoke up about it as well. But like, once again, I'm gonna say this very loud and clear: U.S. Weekly, fuck you. Complex, fuck you. Cosmo, fuck you. Right? You guys are wanting to talk about Olandria when it comes down to her blowing up and being a trendsetter and so on and so forth. But the moment where it's like genuine, authentic racism that she fucking experienced, you guys are hush hush and you guys want to side with the person, with one of the people that actively pushed that actively was inappropriate about that. You guys are weirdos. You guys are sick. And I'm glad that people are packing you up. I'm glad that the Nicolandrians, the Olandria fans, and everything have come forward, have pushed out the fact that you guys need to get this changed. You guys need to fix y'all shit, taking action. And yeah, sure, a few of you guys have changed y'all's headers and stuff, and that's, I guess, the bare minimum. But you shouldn't have done it in the first place. Why would you put the focus on Huda when the focus should have been on Huda, on Olandria, the actual victim, the one that actually got called the N-word, not the person that fucking laughed at her being called the fucking N-word. Let's be fucking for real. I need you guys to get it together. It's 2025. What the hell are you guys doing?
You weird, buddy. You're weird.
Next topic, talking about accountability. Guess what Huda Beauty finally did earlier today? Like, I would actually say about less than an hour ago.
Damn, girl. Thank you so much, Sally. Andrea.
Huda Beauty has made it very clear that they do not stand with what happened and how the situation was dealt with, and they dropped Huda. Took them a minute to come out with a statement, but it's better late than never. Better late than never. And I can respect them standing on business when it comes down to this issue, especially considering that Huda Beauty and that partnership between her and Huda, I'm sure, was a large opportunity for the both of them. A partnership regarding something like that, I think that is, I'm not even going to say admirable. I think that this is honestly the bare minimum. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that she took action, and honestly, this is honestly for the best for not only her business, but honestly, maybe this could be a learning experience for Huda directly, because I don't hate the girl. I think that the girl has a lot of things to go over. I think the girl has a lot of learning to go through, right? And despite her age, I think she has a lot of things to still learn, right, when it comes down to her living experience, honestly. Just to honestly take a moment and give my personal thoughts here, I think that this situation did not have to happen. One of the reasons why I feel like, the whole Huda situation, the way that she went about it and everything, with her response initially and then her response, afterwards, where she came out with that statement hours after the fact, almost a full day after the fact, I would have to be honest and say that this is something that didn't have to happen. I feel like if Huda genuinely addressed the racism that Shelly and Olandria were experiencing within her own fan base, originally when she was asked to address it and she said that she would address it, maybe this wouldn't have happened at all. Right? Maybe when it came down to that reunion and she actually stood down and been very genuine and honest about, the entire situation, and have that genuine back and forth between, her, Shelly, and Olandria, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But it happened because she dragged her feet. It happened because she never actually had a conversation between her fans. There's multiple times where Shelly addressed her fan base and addressed people in general. There's multiple times where Olandria did the same thing. Like, for example, Olandria, when a month and a half ago, she had to directly address one of the reasons why she had somebody on her panel, went on Twitter and made a statement about it, about how she does not get down like that. She does not respect that, right? And she actually addressed her fan base multiple times, even on her live stream, when it comes down to the way that we react to certain things and to certain people. So one thing you can't say about Shelly and Olandria is that they don't address their fans. They do actively, and they have done actively, right? So that's one thing about Shelly Landria that I can respect, but when it comes down to Huda, she's never done that. She's never felt the need to do that, and that's, I honestly believe that's one of the reasons why that child, minor or not, I don't really care, acting it sounded very childish to me, was even able to give her a call and say that loudly and proudly. Think about it like that. With that being said, I do hope that you guys are going to have a beautiful rest of y'all's day. It is Friday, right? So keep your head up high despite whatever's happening. Push through. You got this, babes. And thank you guys for tuning in to my little TED Talk, and I will speak to you guys next time. Bye-bye.